is try and pick out a few of the colours that I can see in her fur. So what I generally tend to do is, if I'm a little bit unsure about the colour, I'll actually use Photoshop and I use the colour picker and select the area of the portrait which I'm not sure of, and then using the colour picker it will actually show me the colour on screen, so then I can pick my pencils up and then I can match the colour on screen to my pencils. So what the screen is telling me is sort of a peachy yellow, and it is pretty much this colour from the Luminance range, and it's burnt ochre 10%. So what I will do is I will go in and add a layer of this, just a very light layer again. The strokes that I'm using, they're not long ones, they're just short. If I use a darker pencil just to show you on my scrap piece of paper, they're just short marks like this, and I do them back and forth shading. I'm not adding in any fur details or anything like that just yet. So I'm going to start with the top of the ear. I'm just going to draw in, I'm using the black pencil, draw in the really dark areas. I'm going to fill them in as well. I'm going to outline them with the black, and then I'm going to fill them in with the sepia pencil. I'm not putting any underlayer in this, so they stay super dark. Fill it in with the sepia, and then on the darkest parts I'm just going to shade over with the black, so it's really dark. And I'm going to just follow my pencil lines for the moment. You want to make sure that you are really focusing on your reference photo, so you get all of the darkest parts in the right place. Now this one splits so these are the main two dark areas at the top of the ear, and on my reference photo these are parts where the curls have gone underneath the top part and then over and left a really dark gap. And they've merged really nicely together. You can always add some more ginger in this so it merges even nicer. So now all we have to do is merge this black bit with this ginger bit, and it's exactly the same principle, except instead of layering all the ginger colours first, we're going to layer some black first. So I'm going to start with I've already got my base layer of the cold grey down, and now I'm going to add another base layer of a light blue. I'm using the steel grey in the Luminance range, but you can use sky blue from the Polychromos range as well. So I'm following the hair direction and shading. I'm not quite going near the ginger patch just yet. Just shading a little section, and then I will start to add my darker layers over that. So I'm going to add a layer of warm grey 5, several colours. Okay, right, so let's move on to the burnisher. I'm going to give it a nice little sharpen, so it's all lovely and ready to use. Now the texture of the burnisher, it actually just feels like a Polychromos oil or any oil based pencil. So the the texture of it is going to be quite nice. It's going to go down exactly like a oil-based pencil. So let's start adding this. Now the burnisher does dust up a fair old amount. And you can see already it's smushing together quite nicely. All a burnisher does is just flattens the tooth of the paper and melds it all together. So by burnishing, it's not really the best method if you want to work layer then blend then layer then blend, because you're not going to be able to get as many layers because you're ruining the tooth of your paper by burnishing this way. And to really be able to burnish properly, you do need to add a fair amount of pressure with this pencil. You can do it lightly and it won't really do anything, you're just going to be colouring your page for no reason. So you need to add some sort of pressure behind this pencil